how long into that book did it take you to realize you literally had been following the wrong paradigm for a very, very long time? Did it take a lot of time to convince you that it wasn't calories in, calories out, and you actually could eat more indulging foods like proteins and fats and be healthy?
No, it didn't take very long at all. Actually, I have been for quite a long time on the opposite to what people are told to do. So in terms of medication and things like that, I would always go the homeopathic route or try alternative therapies. So I was already in that mindset of what we're told is not always the best for me, I shall say. And and so when he started to talk about it, just sort of made sense. And I each part that you get through the book, it just goes, oh yes, I get this. Oh yes, very, very easily did I understand that this was a good way of eating. Now, I've never been one for cutting out fat, but the fatty parts of the lamb or the chicken skins. I always eat the thighs, not the breasts. So I've always done that. The only difference was previously I was telling myself I was not very healthy and I wasn't doing the right thing and I'm going to have trouble with my heart and all the things that we're told because I couldn't follow the low fat way of eating and the lean protein way of eating and avoiding red meat, which is my favorite. So it just sort of validated where I was really. Now the only thing was after about a month, I was feeling that maybe this high fat wasn't very good for me. And luckily, I was on holiday with a friend of mine who's a nurse practitioner and a nurse lecturer. She was a nurse lecturer at a university, and she was doing low carb. So I managed to talk to her about what about all this fat, and she said, no, it's fine. And so from that point, I just felt okay with the fat,
Hmm.
and I just carried on. I think if she'd have said, ooh, maybe not, I might have thrown it in, but I'm glad I didn't.
Ah, what a shame that would have been. That's crazy. So you initially started a diet with the objective of losing weight. Is that correct?
Yes, that
Okay.
was
So
that was my sole thought about it, really.
yeah. Okay. So tell us what the results were for the weight loss. Was it steady? Was it consistent? Were there up and downs? And then what other things did you eventually notice that also improved that maybe you weren't doing the diet for or weren't expecting?
Yeah. So initially I was thinking if I could lose a stone, which is 14 pounds, about 7 kilos, something like that, if I could lose a stone, I'd be happy because I'd been at 15 and a half stone, which is around 225, 27 pounds for a long time. And I'd sort of plateaued there. And it was only latterly had it gone up to 231 pounds, which is 16 and a half stone. And I was thinking, if I can get back to the 15 and a half, that would be a good place to be because I was really struggling to move around. I was struggling to walk up the stairs. I was struggling to get down. If I had to kneel down and get up again, I couldn't get up without hauling myself on a piece of furniture. So I just thought maybe it would be better if I could just reduce that stone. And and so that was my goal really. And like I said earlier, I wasn't strictly low carb. I was just lower carb, but the weight did start to drop slowly. And by the time it came, I can't remember the exact things, but what I did was I weighed myself every day and I put the um, weight in my phone app. And I just, whenever the weight went up a little bit, I'd go to the trend for the year and I'd see it coming down. And that managed to make me keep going. So I didn't worry. I never got to the point where some people are really phobic around the scales and them going up. That wasn't like that for me. I just say, look at the trend, look at the trend. It's down, it's down, it's down. Um, and then I went past my 15 and a half stone, my 228 pounds or whatever that is. And I just kept going and kept going. And it's just carried on like that. And so with the keto, it probably went a little bit quicker. And it probably took maybe 18 months or 2 years to get down to where I am now. And I've been where I am now, I would say good 3, so maybe it was about 2 to 3 years to get down, and then I've been here for the last 3 years, and I've still got more weight to lose. I could do with losing another 30 pounds, but it's not coming off, and I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is such good advice. I have a scale. I use a scale with my clients. I don't think it's a bad tool, but people do get way too focused and myopic on that number, and they forget the progress that they made. And we've had a guest on that referred to kind of like the stock market is like you're doing a yo-yo, but you're walking up the stairs. And so yes, there's going to be changes up and down daily, but remember, you're always going in the right direction. So I think that's so important to do what you said. That's such a good tip for the listener. And you are also going to go down in history as our first guest to ever tell us what the actual weight in pounds a stone was. I've been so curious about that for so long. It speaks probably more to the deficit of me being the podcast host and not asking that question, but of over 500 guests, you're the first person to tell us exactly how much a stone weighs. So I appreciate that.